सो साक्षात मैंने जनरली सुना है कि इफ़ यू आर टेकिंग बायोलॉजी इन योर 12th तो आपके पास नीट करके डॉक्टर बनने का एक ऑप्शन होता है. सो इज इट अ मिथ और इट्स एक्चुअली ट्रू?
The major challenge I faced was to justify the recruiter or interviewer like why I shifted from non-technical to technical field.
So why data? Because there are so many fields you can try, and actually some are very easy to crack also.
I was not able to write the code successfully.
So now can you tell us a detailed roadmap that you followed throughout your preparation?
So you start doubting yourself. Why is it taking time? That shouldn't be a problem for you. You should just focus, and things might take time, but definitely it will happen. Yep.
So now, Sakshita, I want to understand the whole interview process of Zomato.
I also tried applying, easy applies through LinkedIn, but I don't remember getting even a single call through that.
Hi everyone, my name is Shivangi Tiwari and welcome back to my channel. आज की पॉडकास्ट में हमारे साथ सक्षता हैं. सक्षता ने अपना ग्रेजुएशन एंड पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन बायोलॉजी में किया है, बट राइट नाउ शी इज़ वर्किंग एज अ डेटा एनालिस्ट इन जोमैटो. एंड इनकी जर्नी काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है और इतनी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड नहीं है, बिकॉज राइट आफ्टर हर ग्रेजुएशन एंड पीजी शी स्टार्टेड वर्किंग एज अ न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट, बट देन समथिंग चेंज. सो इन द पॉडकास्ट लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड कि उन्होंने ये लीप ऑफ फेथ कैसे लिया, हाउ डिड शी प्रिपेयर फॉर द डेटा एनालिस्ट रोल, एंड उनकी जर्नी कैसी थी, क्या क्या चैलेंजेस उन्होंने फेस किए, किस तरीके से उन चैलेंजेस को उन्होंने ओवरकम किया. एंड थ्रू आउट लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड द रोड मैप कि अगर आप किसी नॉन टेक बैकग्राउंड से हो या आप बायोलॉजी बैकग्राउंड से हो एंड आप डेटा की फील्ड में ट्रांजिशन करना चाहते हो, तो किस तरीके से आपको स्टार्ट करना चाहिए एंड क्या रोड मैप आपको फॉलो करना चाहिए. So without any further ado, let me call Sakshita on my channel. Hi Sakshita, how are you doing?
Hi Shivangi, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So Sakshita, though I have given a short introduction about you, but still you can tell us more about you.
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone, my name is Sakshita Gowda. So currently I'm working as a data analyst at Zomato, Hyderabad. So to talk about my educational background, I've done my BSc, that is Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Botany and Zoology after my plus 2. So since I was interested in biology, like that was my interest, like subject wise. So post that I chose to do my MSc, Masters in Food Science and Nutrition, where it was more of clinical nutrition, therapeutic nutrition. It was more of human physiology, like completely the human and biology related subjects. So during this course of time, I thought I was really lacking with the technical skills and I need to really start with something interesting. So I came across this subject or the stream called data science. So I prepared accordingly and here I am working for Zomato.
If you're also looking forward to start your data science and analytics journey but you don't know where to start from, then I have something really cool to share with you. So College Vidya offers this amazing 6 months data science and analytics program which is designed for both working professionals as well as freshers. What I love the most about this course is that you will be learning both theoretical knowledge as well as practical experience, because both of it together is required for you to solve the real world problems. You'll be learning skills like SQL, R, Python, data visualization tools, statistical modeling, etc. All these skills are very much required in the industry. Plus, you'll be working on 20 plus hands-on projects that will help you build your entire portfolio. Another great thing is College Vidya lets you compare 100 plus universities so that you can select the best fit as per your budget and goals. They even offer you free expert consultation and compare universities across 30 plus factors including fees, approvals, placement, ratings and even the EMI options. And now they are proud to be featured in Jio Hotstar's Brand of Tomorrow Season 3, recognizing their commitment to transforming online education in India. And here is what makes the course really awesome. First thing is you will be learning all the skills that are required for you to crack a dream job into the data field. And secondly, you'll be also working on 20 plus projects that will help you build your entire portfolio. Next is you will be taught these skills and subjects by the industry experts. And another great thing is they also have job assistants that will help you focus on the learning and not stress about any other factor. So if you also want to upskill yourself with this hottest skill, then don't forget to check out College Vidya's data science program. Link is there in the description. Now let's move on in the video. So Sakshita, मैंने जनरली सुना है कि इफ़ यू आर टेकिंग बायोलॉजी इन योर 12th तो आपके पास नीट करके डॉक्टर बनने का एक ऑप्शन होता है. सो इज इट अ मिथ or it's actually true?
So for a candidate after 12th, if they're not able to succeed in NEET, definitely, or if they're able to do it, it's well and good. Otherwise there are multiple options. So NEET itself or MBBS itself is not a ultimate option, I would say, because there are other equally relevant options that the candidate have are biochemistry, microbiology, and they can get into other medicinal subjects. And there are other relevant options also they can go ahead with, where if they're really interested to go ahead with biology related subjects, then there are relevantly high paying jobs as well. So one can definitely look into it and go for it, instead of going for something that they're not really interested in.
Another thing, Sakshita, like we are not very much aware about the career options that someone has after biology, and if they are not able to crack NEET. So can you tell us about that, about the career options and the job roles they can apply for?
Right. So definitely I can talk a lot about it since I'm from that field. So I would say first option would be research assistant. So in the universities or in the institution, you can work under a guide for a period of time, and you can assist in the researches, okay, different kind of researches. And then for a period of time after you do that, you can also gain a degree of PhD, and you can also start teaching in the institutions or the colleges. You can be a professor. And second one would be teaching, where that would require a B.Ed as well. That is something recommended. Third, I would say if you have learned biochemistry or microbiology, or say that B Pharma, so these kind of candidates can definitely get into pharmaceutical companies or biotech industries as well. That is also a very good option. And there's something interesting that is forensic science. So if you're really good at microbiology, so you can also be a forensic science assistant, where you can work on the crime scenes and all these things actually. And post that there's something called the medical coder. So this is mainly working on the research. Like suppose say that there's something called clinical data management. Like few of my friends are working in this stream. They're doing really well. So what happens when there's a release of any drug in the market, right? Before releasing it, it has to go through a lot of clinical trial. You can just release it just like that, right? So these specialists would take those data, and then they would also check the reliability, and then and also how effective it is. They'll review it. So that is also a very good option. So you have got multiple options if you really want to continue with the medical, or the bio related any fields.
Got it. So I'm very much aware about the salary structure in the tech field. Can you tell us a little bit about the salary structure that freshers can expect if they go in any such field?
In the technical field you're asking?
No. I'm not asking about the technical field. I'm asking about the bio-related job roles that you are telling.
Okay.
For a fresher, how much salary they can expect in the market?
Okay. So I would say it starts from 5 LPA, 5 to 8 LPA for a beginner. Okay, but yeah, if you have done only bachelor's, it would be difficult for you to get into the company, because they would really want you to get a hands on different kind of projects or laboratory experiences. So initially you can start with an internship. That would hardly pay you, I would say, like 20K, but still it's a good start, I would say, because getting experience is a must thing for any student.
Right.
And post that you can expect 5 LPA onwards.
Understood. So can you please tell us now about how did you get your first job? What was the job profile and how did you get it?
Okay, so post MSc, I got selected as a consultant nutritionist at Healthify Me. It's an online platform. My second company was Oliva Clinic. I worked there almost for 1.5 years. So in that course of time, I was really liking the job, like as in consulting, understanding their dietary routine and medical history, understanding their body requirement, accordingly designing their diet chart, and following up with them, and ultimately helping them to reach their goal is something they were expecting, and I was doing it. And I was really happy with that. But after a point of time, I realized my career graph was almost flat. I was not really learning anything, or I was not really doing anything new. Right. So I thought, really, I have to start something new, get started with the technical skills. and you get into any probably technical field.
Okay, but that's a very cool job, right? You're working as a nutritionist. I mean, whosoever I have met, I find this job really fascinating. Did you never think of like doing as a freelancing work only, and like, though you wanted to study technical things, but this can be done on a freelance basis also, right?
Yeah, it should have, like, I could have done it also, but what happened was freelancing may definitely it would take quite a long time comparatively, right? It's not easy to educate people. If you say you have to doctor consultation, people would be yeah, they'll be a little conscious, but when it comes to nutrition and things like that, it's not that easy to convince them.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the challenge. And second thing, I was not in a situation to again completely shift to a freelancing side. So I had an option where we can use social medias and connect over different set of people and help them over there. But I thought again the specialization would get limited.
Right.
So I thought I should learn something new, not just something I was already doing. So.
Understood. So why data? Because there are so many fields you can try, and actually some are very easy to crack also. Like you, for example, UI UX. But why did you choose to come into data field only?
Okay, so when I was working as a nutritionist also, there it was all about understanding the requirement, accordingly checking that what is the trend. Like in data, what we do is through using the data set, we understand the trend, accordingly we take decisions.
Right.
So it was kind of similar to whatever the job I was doing before, right? So I thought because I was really particular about some technical skill set itself, data is because I can learn at least one query language or at least one programming language, some visualization tool. It's a combination of different things.
Right.
So that really fascinated me actually.
That's interesting. So finally, how did you start your preparation when you decided that now you have to channelize your preparation? How did you start it and how did you make your schedule?
So what happened was when I decided I really have to start with preparation, I had a lot of options because if you see in YouTube, you have a lot of options which is you're free to access, right? For everyone. But I really wanted to have a structured approach. So I signed up for a boot camp, that is data science boot camp from an online platform, where I wanted someone to guide me, where to say what needs to be prepared, like what I have to study and to how much, to what extent. It's not about learning everything, it's all about knowing few things but in depth.
Right.
So I thought, okay, I need to really take a help of any particular platform, so I went ahead with that. So that really made my life, I would say, comparatively easier.
Okay. So now can you tell us a detailed roadmap that you followed throughout your preparation? How did you start up with learning the skills? Then what tools did you learn? And how did you follow your schedule?
Okay, so for a non-technical graduates, I would say to start with, suppose if you're starting your preparation for data analyst or data science role, I would say to start with Excel, because that is something very easy. I believe each and everyone would have used Excel once in their lifetime, right? So that seems very easy. One thing, and there you also get to work on using the Excel data set. You can prepare the summaries and then the graph visuals and a lot of things you can do there. And after that I moved on SQL. So for SQL, what I did was I already had source, like the study material anyways, okay, because since I had already had access to this particular bootcamp, all the materials, I was able to get it. But at the same time, I also was referring some YouTube channels, some particular playlists where they would also help us in understanding what kind of questions we can expect. Suppose if I say order of execution in SQL, I know that it starts with from, but I didn't know the logic exactly. Some particular playlist would make your life very easier because they'll explain with logic everything with an example as well. So that was a thing. I used particular resources as well for both the study material, for practicing, and later on so as to understand what kind of questions I can expect. So third one I started with Python, I would say. So Python was comparatively trickier for me because SQL is kind of easy. I was able to write. It is kind
Right.
of it's a script again, so it was easy for me. But it's a language. It's a programming language. So where I had to spend more time on that. I also again refer different kind of resources there, free resources where they were explained in a very easier way. And fourth one, it was in Power BI was something I was preparing hand in hand. Like it was not kept separate time. I didn't keep any separate time for it, since it was easier. It's all about the visualization, right? It's kind of you're doing some activity. So yeah, this is how I started, and I took
Okay,
it
so
forward.
you're talking about a lot of free resources that you utilize. Do you remember any few which you can tell us?
Sure. To start with Excel, if I have to start with Excel, there's a channel, Pawan Lalwani. So he's a excellent guy, I would say. He would explain all the formulas. I know how it needs to be used, on what condition, why are we using that particular formula, everything, every single thing.
Right.
So that is something I refer. And for SQL, there's multiple resources I used. See, mainly Edureka and Intellipath are the sources where you can do some certifications also, and you can refer the videos also. They're
Okay.
tutorial as well.
Right.
And yeah, there is something called HackerRank and then DataLimmer where you can practice. So you have easy, medium, and difficulty level questions. So ultimately, you should be able to practice. It's not just reading, right? You should be
right.
able to solve any kind of questions. So I was practicing it over there. And for Python, I mainly referred Krish Naik. Like he's also a tech educator he's a YouTuber where there's a channel where he explains machine learning and deep learning and majorly all the data science subjects that is required.
Right.
So these things, and there are a few channels also, like if you say Rishabh Mishra, and recently I came across few of them where specifically they explain about how to prepare for the product based companies, what kind of questions you can expect. So yeah, this really helps you a lot.
Got it, got it. So I'm sure one out of all the skills would be really tough for you to like crack and practice. What was that subject for you? Was it Python or was it any tool? What was it exactly?
So to start with, what I did a mistake initially. I tried to practice everything with machine learning models and everything, but I kind of focus only on SQL, Python, Power BI, and Excel, that which is actually required for data analyst role. Out of which Python was something I was finding it a little difficult. Suppose if I have to use if else condition, or I was not able to write the code successfully. That was the thing. If I have to talk about SQL, so I know, like now I know that having should be used after group by, but that point of time I used to get confused. Maybe because I was learning all the techniques, so I was getting confused between all of them. So now though it is not an issue. It comes with practice. So yeah, it has become easier now.
Okay, so if I had to ask you, like how much weightage did you give to this Python coding as compared to the other subjects or other skills that you were learning? And if someone is just like not putting that much effort into Python, are they still going to crack the companies? Would it, or it's going to be difficult for them?
So I would say there are particular kind of roles, okay, for the companies. Some companies need Power BI developers. Some people need ops associates, where for Power BI developer you just have to be knowing majorly Power BI and then some Excel. SQL also, again, it depends again. Few companies would expect you to know Python also and SQL also, and or I can say all the four.
Right.
So it's good to have knowledge in all the four, because it's not too much to learn, I would say.
Yeah.
If you ask me personally, Python I learned like basic level. I tried to understand all the I would say libraries, and up to medium level, I would say that I will be able to answer all the questions and basic logical questions. That's it. I didn't focus much on that. And anyways, yeah, that's what I prepared or I was doing.
Okay. Understood, understood. So now I want to understand about the projects that you prepared. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So talking about projects, I mainly did 3 projects. So through the boot camp, like we had to submit at least one project so as to get the certificate. So
Okay.
where I chose a project which to predict credit card approval using classification algorithm. That was one project I did, and I did 2 other projects for which I referred a platform that is called Code Basics. So
Okay.
Code Basics is a platform. If you check, like every month they will come up with a different kind of project challenge. So what you have to do, you just have to sign up and then you have to submit it before the deadline. So that helped me a lot to that really helped me to add that particular project in my resume, and that definitely we can, when I don't have any relevant experience,
Project matters the
recruiter would
most.
or interviewer will definitely ask about that. So at that point of time, what happened was I was not finding it difficult to do the Python projects or SQL projects. So I connected with the other candidate from the same bootcamp platform. So we used to connect over the Google Meets and understand what all the blockers and help each other in clearing it out. That's how I used to. I completed 3 projects mainly, and that is what I presented in my resume as well.
Okay, got it. So throughout this process, like were you also working or you left your job already?
In the last 6 months of duration, I had actually resigned because I was finding it difficult to manage both the work and preparation. So I was not able to give my time, and I was really getting tensed about the job. It was getting delayed. So there was 6 months of duration of I would say the gap.
Okay. So how did you get your first call for the data analyst profile?
So during that period of time, I was very active on LinkedIn, I would say. So I had made a routine where I would list out all the companies, probably 2 to 3 companies in a day, and target few profiles, say that data scientist or data analyst or data engineers who have at least 2+ years of experience.
Right.
Okay, so and then I used to send them request, and expecting them to accept the request and post that I used to cold DM them and asking for referral with the kind of format. So this was my routine. So that point of time, in the same way when I was doing those things every single day, few people used to respond, very few people. In that person from Zomato responded to me saying that they're actually expanding their team and they're looking for data analyst.
Okay.
So and they asked me to send the resume, and I also told him clearly that I'm not really from any technical background, but I do have some skill set that is actually required, and I hope that I'm really good at it. So it would be great if you could arrange a interview call. I would appreciate it. This is something this is how I conveyed him. So he understood things, and I completely forgot that. After a few days, I got a call saying that I got shortlisted for the first round of interview.
Okay, so Zomato is your first company, or you already worked somewhere before Zomato? Because I saw in your LinkedIn you have mentioned data science intern somewhere.
Yeah, I did internship as well. That was
Okay.
for 2.5 months of duration, just to have an understanding, about there. Even there also, we were working on some projects, just to have an understanding how the industry related projects would work and how things work out. So that is just for my practice purpose. So other than that, Zomato itself is the first company as a data analyst.
Wow, like you cracked a good company in the first go. So I want to understand about that internship
Yeah.
also. How did you get it?
So it was through LinkedIn again, because I was checking again for different kind of internship if I was able to get, because in the initial 3-4 months of duration I was not able to get any kind of response. So I thought I'll do some internship or some projects. So I saw this internship where they posted that they are actually looking for candidates who wants to work with them, and I responded. I messaged him. And I asked for the opportunity. They said, yeah, it's open for anyone who's interested. So that's how I got into it.
Got it. So guys, you are understanding the power of LinkedIn, right? And that is why I say create your profile and be active on LinkedIn. And if you are looking forward to make a proper profile, I already have a video. You can just check it out over here. So now, Sakshita, I want to understand the whole interview process of Zomato. Can you please explain everything to us in detail?
Okay, yeah, sure. So totally I had 4 rounds of interview. The first and second round was completely a technical round. And so talking about the first round, so what happened? It was completely SQL and Excel. The major requirement was the candidate should be knowing SQL, Excel, and Google Sheets. Visualization that didn't really ask, and yeah, business understanding. So talking about the technical skill, it went for about 1.5 hours, where first some questions were asked, like verbally, to understand like order of execution and things like that. And after that they shared some document, then asked me to share the screen, and there were some 10 to 12 questions where I had to write a SQL query. So that was the first round, along with some Excel questions as well. So they shared some data set. So they asked me, there were some 10 to 12 questions again. So basically they were checking what kind of formulas I was using. Was I able to use right kind of formula, the logic and things like that. So that was my first round interview. And the second round, it was again Excel and SQL. Here in the second round, they didn't ask me to write any code, the SQL query, because in the first round itself, it was they made me do that. And the second round, it was majorly some SQL questions, and again Excel, the Google Sheet, test was taken. So it went for 1 hour again. So third round, it was completely the case study, guesstimate, some business understanding, some aptitude questions. So here they want to know, suppose say that they are looking for a candidate with certain skill set, but they do not want a candidate who doesn't know anything about the business metric, like who should be able to analyze things, who should be able to have a thought process. This is their requirement actually. So they gave me few case studies, like if there's a drop in the order in the last week by 20%, what might be the reason, sales, or be it anything. It was majorly of orders drop. And second one was some guesstimate questions. They asked me the number of coffee consumers in Bangalore. So to understand how I will approach the problem statement, whether I'll be able to simplify the problem statement and come to a conclusion or not. This is something they were looking for. And some aptitude question that was actually trending in LinkedIn at that point of time. So there in the aptitude question was okay, it was fine. Other two questions I did really well. I knew that. So yeah, it went well. And fourth round was completely HR round that involved culture fit. So HR will try to understand whether this candidate is culturally he or she is fit for the company or not, will be able to work in this environment or not. This is something they check. So totally
understood. So Sakshita, I've also heard one thing, that if someone is coming from a non-technical background to a tech field, I've heard that generally the salary that is offered to them is less as compared to that offered to the techies. So is it true or it's just a myth?
So to talk about the salary, again it would depend, because few companies do provide you the salary according to the market standards that need to be provided for that particular role, irrespective of your background, educational background and things like that. But few of the other companies would they might lower your salary. Again, it depends on if you really want to go ahead with the market standards, then you can wait for that opportunity and go ahead with this. Otherwise, if you feel no, getting into this field is important at this point of time, you can opt that, like not to lose that opportunity and to go ahead with that. So it again depends, like it depends on the company and it depends on person to person.
True. Totally makes sense. Like it's like how desperately you need the job. Do you have the patience to wait for the right opportunity and the right package, or you want to get into the industry at the package you are getting offered and then move on in the hierarchy, and ultimately your package will increase. So throughout the process, Akshata, what was the biggest challenge that you faced coming from the non-tech background, and how would you suggest people to handle it?
So I would say the first, the major challenge I faced was to justify the recruiter or interviewer, like why I shifted from non-technical to technical field was a challenging task, because definitely they'll ask, we ourselves will get into that situation thinking that what if they think about the same, right? So that happened, one thing. And second thing, competing with a technical graduate, again, they might have in-depth knowledge, maybe they have learned it for a very long time,
Right.
so competing with the experienced candidate, that would be one of the challenge. Few companies might go ahead with the one who already have a experience with a relevant kind of thing, work. And third thing was learning the skill set again, because since that is something I have started from the scratch and I've never done it before, right? So I believe for non-technical graduates that might be a challenging task initially to start or to learn a new technique.
Right.
Task. So first, if you ask me about the suggestions, I would say first try to build as many connections as possible, or with the right set of people, because this is something I did it, because I also tried applying easy applies through LinkedIn, but I don't remember getting even a single call through that. So I would also suggest everyone to build connection as much as possible and have that interaction with everyone, because if you are being genuine to them, saying that you really want to work in their organization, in their team, and you're skilled, if you show that passion, there are people who really want to take you and give you that opportunity. Because this happened with me, I would say. I consider myself as an example, because when I asked for an opportunity with a person from Zomato, and I was being very genuine. I said that I do not have relevant experience, or I'm not from CS background, but he said it's okay, we are least bothered about that. And he's a program manager right now, and he was being very supportive. So definitely you should take a chance and go ahead.
Wow. That's an awesome advice, and I'm sure it's going to be really helpful for people. Any last minute advice, or anything in general that you want to discuss to the students, or you want to tell them?
So there are few things I really want to tell, that be good at the skill set. Like we already know the competition is high. Like a lot of people want to shift, be it non-technical, technical, or within the technical again for different job, right? So at least make sure whatever the skill set you know those things in depth. Okay, don't try to learn everything possible. Try to understand what do you need, what kind of role you're looking for. Take one step at a time. Okay. And second thing, initially don't worry much about the salary, because getting into the company and getting that experience is much important than salary, because if you do not have an experience, how can you expect again the salary, right? That's second thing. And third thing is you should be in a situation where you should convert every opportunity or the interview call into an offer letter, because getting the call itself is the biggest task, I would say, because I waited for 5 to 6 months of duration. Hardly I used to get some response from the candidates in the LinkedIn. So and last thing I would say, do not get away with distraction here. Distractions as in when you are trying so hard to get into something, to do better in your life, you see people around you doing better, getting promoted, or switching job with good hike, so you start doubting yourself, why is it taking time? That shouldn't be a problem for you. You should just focus, and things might take time, but definitely it will happen. Yep.
Yeah, these are just so practical, actionable, and great advices. So thank you very much, Sakshita. It was just amazing talking to you, and I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and the way you shared your experiences and learning. It was really amazing. So thank you so much for coming on my channel.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Shivangi. Thank you.
So guys, if you want to connect with Sakshita, I'll share her LinkedIn in the description. You can just get connected with her. And बाकी अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगी है, so don't forget to hit the like button and share it to your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so that you get notified जब भी मैं कोई नई वीडियो डालूँ तो. Thank you so much.